Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Beyond the Arc podcast. I'm Dallas, joined by M Very Sad, aka Levi, who is not even showing his face today. Levi, how's it going?
Doing okay, Dallas. How are you, man?
Oh, he's
I'm
back. He's back.
still
Yeah,
sad.
yeah,
I didn't want people to see me wiping the tears, all the good. But I've cried pretty endlessly since Sunday, so I've accepted we're never going to make a Final Four, and it's kind of a rough feeling to wake up to on Monday morning. Had some good friends over for the game. My mom, my family. When it was 16-14, I was like, if this game can stay just as in the pace we're playing at, I'm a happy man. And then all of a sudden, it was 35-16.
yeah. I think we all knew beating Michigan was always going to be a pretty tall task. They're just
Yeah.
absolutely loaded. That's really all I have to say about that game. I don't think there's nothing you can say like if this would have went differently, if this would have went differently, it's maybe a different game. I don't think there's really anything you can say there. There was the goaltending call that a lot of people say kind of swung the game, and it may have. Maybe it would have been a 18, 19, 20 point loss instead of 20 to 30, whatever it wound up being. As far as the players go, Nate, he had a terrific career here, even if it was just for 1 year. He's earned top five ball status from me just from the way he handled himself to his play on the court. Then you had Felix, who, an incredible career. There's everything I could say about Felix, I've already said. Jacoby
Oh,
had
I
his
miss
moment.
the heck out of Felix, man.
Yeah, me too.
He's one of those that I wish we could have had before.
Yeah, Jacoby had his moments where we all, including Rick Barnes, questioned if he had a FanDuel account. But he had a great March. From the tournament to SEC tournament, even he played pretty well. He was very in control of things. Just ran out of gas there. It looks like towards the end. But Jacoby had a great March. All the seniors I thought played pretty well in March, and I also want to thank Justin Gainey, of course, for his time here. He was a huge part of Tennessee's success, and wish him luck at NC State. It's going to be a tall task to replace him. Don't know who will be taking that spot over. A lot of people
Dude,
say, go ahead.
yesterday with the Gabe Lazo news, that somebody I can't remember. I think it was Ben McKee tweeted out like Tennessee is hiring. It didn't say Lady Vols or anything. It just said Tennessee is hiring a Florida State assistant coach. Blah blah blah. And I was like, who? And it was like to replace Gabe Lazo. And I was like, oh. I was like, there's no way Rick went back to Florida State. I was like, maybe Amaro knows this guy really well and was like, hey, we need him. But I was like, huh? You know who I'd like to see us get, Dallas? LSU's old coach,
Matt McMahon or Austin McMahon. It's Matt McMahon. Who the hell is
Matt,
Austin McMahon? I don't know who the hell Austin McMahon is, but yeah,
one of those
in this
wrestling people.
probably. But yeah, people's bringing up Kim English, and I don't see Kim English coming back. I don't want to say the bridges are burnt, but I just don't think that's a relationship that can be repaired and as quickly as it would need
Yeah.
to be for him to be on staff. And then let's go ahead and just pontificate on next season. Obviously Tennessee is going to have to go out and get some really talented guys in the portal, and they're going to have to spend a lot of money for those guys. I, for one, want to take the time to say that
Dallas, move closer, move your trailer closer to the Walmart. You're
okay,
cutting in and out. You got to
all
move,
right,
move. I told you 100 times. You have to take that RV and you got to park it a little closer to the Walmart.
all right. Are we back now? Okay. I just want to take the time to say it was fun to pretend. It was fun to say, everything's school. That was very fun. But it's time to stop pretending like baseball and all this is equal. We need to give Rick Barnes whatever he needs to break through. We will probably be spending 10 to 12 million in the portal. And honestly, I think that number should probably be around 15, maybe even close to 18 million if you want to give Barnes the best chance to make his first ever, not his first ever, but the program's first ever and his first in what, 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about,
2006, right?
yeah, something like that. I don't want to really,
2006.
Don't
No,
really
it was
want to talk.
'04. I'm sorry.
Was it
'06 was
04?
the dirt. It was '04. The Durant team was those 16. That's the team that should have made a run. And they got, I don't know if you know how they lost in the NCAA tournament in
Yeah,
that one, but somehow they fouled like 12 more times than their opponent did. And they ended up with Kevin Durant, dude. Like, I
yeah.
think KD still had like 28, but that one's crazy to look back on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about hypotheticals because I mean, obviously there are guys out there that Tennessee's linked to, but that's just really it. Nothing's happened there really yet, except for Tyler Lundblade, who is he'll be one of, if not the best shooter in the portal this offseason. His percentage has dropped a little bit this season, but when you shoot 48% the year prior from three, I think you kind of expect to get a little bit of a decrease in percentage, especially when you got an increased number of attempts. He's more of a Chaz Lanier, really, than a Dalton Connect. He gets his looks off of pin downs, flare screens, hammer action, stuff like that. He's been on campus since Monday, and he's expected to be here through Wednesday, I believe. And I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, we need a point guard. We're going to need a two guard and a rim protecting center. Is there anything else, Levi, that you really would like to see added to this team?
No, I mean, you definitely you got to have a point guard to start the engine. Rick Barnes is going to do that. He knows exactly what to go get when it comes to a point guard. He's had great point guard play here since he's been here. I mean, Kevin Punter played the point guard for us. And then you had Jordan Bone after that, and then you had Zakai Ziegler and Kennedy Chandler, and then you just most recently had Jacoby, as we all know. I mean, the point guard position's the last of my worries, the least thing I'll even bat an eye about because I know Rick Barnes can get it done with probably if I got myself back in shape, he'd probably figure out a way to get me looking pretty good at point guard. So, uh, but we really, really a lot of people are saying we should keep JP. I'm not here to like uh bash anybody on the roster, but there's a few players on this team that if they did leave, I wouldn't care. Not to say I wouldn't care. I've phrased that wrong. It wouldn't really affect me on moving the needle. Like I keep telling you, when we're talking, we need to move the needle. We have the needle where it needs to be. Elite Eight. We're three straight Elite Eights is crazy.
It is.
Something I don't think that I would have ever talked about in my life when it came to Tennessee basketball. Um, but overall, in order to move that needle to the Final Four, you got to have playmakers, man. And we saw it against Michigan. You got to be able to rebound and get out. And Michigan had a day. Mara, he killed us. I know he picked up two early fouls, and that allowed us to stay in the game. Once Felix picked up his second, and it's like Rick said, they called five fouls on us in a minute and 28 seconds. Um, and all of a sudden you're in huge foul trouble and you're having to rotate and they stick a Damara back in with two fouls while we're trying to figure out like who can play down low, who can't. The ref screwed up again, called a foul on Jalen, or I'm sorry, not Jalen Carey, Dwayne Brown when it wasn't on Brown. So Rick thinks Brown has two. He sticks Felix back in the game because he's like, I got to do something. And then they go to timeout and they change the foul from Brown to Amari Evans, which just gave Amari one and kept Brown at one. And Felix picks up his third. So the refs in the game, it wouldn't have mattered if I was out there calling the game. Uh, I mean, maybe it would have a little bit, but I would have been pretty obviously for Tennessee. But I don't think they did a bad job. We just ran into a team that when they shoot like that, and we shot like we did. We regressed back to, mid-season form, and that's okay because we played excellent basketball for 3 games in the tournament. But not to go off topic like I always do, Dallas. Uh, you know, we only have, I think, what, 4 spots open with
Uh,
everything.
there'd be Jacoby, Nate, obviously, Felix, and who is the fourth one there that I'm missing?
I'm not gonna say names, but it's
Well,
somebody
yeah,
we've talked about pretty prominently that will transfer out of our
yeah.
our
I
program
was
more
just
than likely.
there's only
Uh,
three that's guaranteed to be gone. I mean, Nate,
right, right, right.
uh, Felix, and Jacoby. I
And then
think
we're
that's the only.
replacing. Well, we're replacing those three with our three signees. So technically
Yeah,
we have 0 spots if you really look at it. But,
yeah, yeah.
we're already
Technically,
hosting recruits. which tells you straight up, obviously, there's going to be some people leave. Um, I'd love to retain if can we do this? Can we talk about the fact like who do we truly need to keep
Well, I won't
in your
say
mind?
like, well, I'll just give some names here. Amari Evans, I think you have to keep him. You have to
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
whatever's possible. Dwayne Brown, I think those two are future SEC
Why is
stars.
Brown getting so much hate?
I don't know. I really don't. I think it's
Because
because, go ahead.
guy at work, guy at work's a big time basketball guy, and he played college ball and all that, and he's like, Dwayne Brown, man, that guy's terrible. I was like, are we watching the same Dwayne Brown? Because man, his skill is just through the roof, and an off season of him already playing as much as he has, like I could see him really. I'm not going to say he's going to become a Grant Williams, but I could see him really turning into a guy that can catch it at the 14, 15 foot mark and turn and face and then really go to work. And if we can get that from Dwayne Brown, I mean, we're going to be doing some pretty dangerous things, in my opinion, because he's the perfect Rick Barnes guy, in my opinion. I mean, you can post him up. You can post him up at like 15 feet. He's getting way too much hate recently, and it's kind of
Yeah,
bothering me a little bit because I don't understand. He's a freshman, man, and I saw a tweet the other day that said we can't win with the Bishop Boswells and the Amari Evans of the world. I'm like, they're freshmen and sophomore. Like, I guess they said the same thing about Jemai and Zakai, but like at the end of the day, when Bishop Boswell's a senior and Amari Evans is a junior, you're telling me that I'm not going to be okay with those two out there as my 2 and 3?
yeah. I mean, moving back to Dwayne, I mean, I believe it was in the Michigan game, pretty sure. Whenever we was doing our dribble handoff stuff, and Dwayne kind of gives away, kind of gets to the Michigan player. He very easily could have just quit, gave up on the play, but he gets back, gets a big block off the backboard, and which on the replay it should have been a goaltend, but they can't call them all, so he gets away with one there, and I think that was just
There's too many in that game.
yeah, that was
It
one
felt
that
like it felt like every time we turned around, they were reviewing or looking at some type of goaltend.
yeah, but Dwayne, he's one that I definitely don't. I would do whatever it takes, Tennessee basketball wise, to keep him in Knoxville. Amari, and I don't really know if there's a third that I would say do whatever you have to do. Not saying that like you said that these guys are interchangeable because I mean JP, even though he was kind of frustrating at times, he's a very talented offensive player, and there's going to be schools out there willing to pay him a lot of money. But as far as like the freshmen, Amari and Brown, those are two that I'm like, you know what? If you have to pay them a million, 2 million, do it. Just pay them.
I do it. Yeah, I agree on those two 100%. Those are building pieces that are probably 4 year guys. Now, Amari
Yeah.
could all of a sudden become a 40% 3 point shooter, and the next thing you know, he's in the draft. We've seen that with some guys. But yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one.
I mean, his shot is nothing that I see that's apparently wrong with it. I mean, it looks fluid, looks
Amari,
smooth.
oh yeah, he'll be
Amari,
fine.
yeah. And I mean,
He'll be
if
fine.
Dwayne, if he can develop some sort of a jump shot from, I mean, even just the elbow there on the free throw line extended, I mean, that would be huge. And obviously, for the recruiting aspect, you had Felix Okpara today. I'm not sure who he gave the quote to, but SEC Country is the one that I saw post a quote where he said, "If you want to win, and this is Felix again, if you want to win, play for a good coach and play for a good program and work the hardest you have ever worked in your life, I would choose Tennessee." That's from Felix Okpara, who spent 2 years in Rick Barnes' system. And I mean, if you're Barnes and you're building this roster, Levi, are you prioritizing the defense or are you trying to go to the opposite end of the spectrum and go offense?
Now, I mean, we all know. So the thing is that like we've had guys like Chaz and Dalton, Jacoby even, three straight newcomers of the year. If you watched them at their old school, they didn't play a lick of defense. They didn't care. Jacoby now has the most steals in a season in school history. So, we're going to get defense out of whoever we bring in. And, I tweeted earlier and said, like, Barnes isn't going to bring in traffic cones. When I mean that, I mean it in the way of like if you're an uncoachable defensive player, he's not bringing you in. Some guys you can watch, and no offense to Cam Carr, I think he's a very solid basketball player. But some guys you can watch when the ball gets to the other side of the court and they have to defend, they play at about 25%. They don't lock in. So it's a kind of a tough question, Dallas, because I think that overall we're going to get some offensive guys. But in our system, you got to defend, and that's just the truth. And everybody's like, "Oh, that's why we miss shots. We're too busy." These are 20-year-old dudes, bro. Like they're okay. They're in shape. Trust me. They're in the best shape of their lives. They can defend and get back down the floor and shoot the three. But if it was me, obviously I would prioritize defense because I I prefer the anaconda style of basketball. I'd rather just continuously choke you out until it's 55 to 37 and you've only scored 37 points and you're frustrated and I can get out and run on you and get easy layups. So that's how I like if I was a head coach, man, I'm prioritizing five guys out there that can absolutely defend their butts off and you're just going to be so frustrated that you'll have no chance to score. And I think Rick Barnes kind of thinks similar. But I think he's also, as you know, most people say, like, oh, he's not adapted. He's adapted because you can see the guys he's brought in. If you watch their game film, they don't defend. So, there's the Money Williams talk. That guy's a
Yeah.
traffic count. Could Rick Barnes getting to defend? Likely.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Moore asked me a similar question. He was like, do you want to stick with the big guys that just, we're just going to outlink you, out physical you, or do you want to go to the more offensive style of basketball, kind of like you had with Kennedy and Zakai, which they still had a very good defense as well. And my answer
Yeah.
to that was kind of, I like the style that we're running right now, just being able to, because I mean, the offensive rebounding, it was huge in the NCAA tournament. I would like to keep with that style, but surround them with a few more shooters, capable shooters. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I don't think you're going to see many more projects being brought into Tennessee. Is about it's kind of what I'm getting to. I mean, you had Clarence Masamba, who, I mean, he came in late, but he was not very developed offensively as far as a SEC player goes. And you had Ethan Berg, who came in late as well, but he grew throughout the season, became a very solid defensive piece, and made a few offensive plays as well. That's the two that come to mind that I don't think you're going to see those types in this class. I may be wrong. You may get one or two that you see as potential down the line guys, but in the recruiting class coming in, you have Marquise Clark, who I am a huge fan of. I think Marquise Clark is going to be a 4 year staple at Tennessee. I mean, he's got the high, he's got the scoring, he's got the defense. He's just a tremendous player. And then you have Manny Green, who is a tremendous shooter. So I think he's going to be a very usable piece for Tennessee off the bench, most likely. And I mean, you just got it's kind of hard to be down on the season. That's why I kind of snapped and cleared pretty quickly from the Michigan loss because I mean we had Rick Barnes saying right after the game, oh, I'm going to be back 100%. And you look at the
That's
pieces you
nice.
have, yeah, and you look at the pieces you have and the young talent, the freshmen coming in. I mean, it's very easy to see Tennessee back in the same exact situation next season, and possibly even with the talent they need to make a Final Four. So before we wrap things up here, I just want to say for the upcoming schedule, we'll probably record as needed. I don't think it's going to be a weekly thing. We're also going to be starting a NBA podcast here pretty soon. That will be off the ABCIS win umbrella. I'll just post it on my Twitters or Facebook, whatever. If you're not available on the days that are necessary for the Beyond the Arc with off-season talk and stuff like that, I can record by myself because I've gained a lot of experience in my adult life doing things by myself in my room. So,
Wait, wait.
what?
Yeah. I'm not even gonna ask you that question. That's fine.
Okay.
Um, I had one question for you, but I kind of slipped. Oh, who did we have in the final four again? Who are our final four picks?
Well, I'll get it pulled up, but Duke absolutely. Everyone, close your ears. Duke absolutely fucked me. I would have all my Final Four if they
I was
just,
gonna say you had everybody except for
yeah. And I would have had a Duke, but they absolutely fucked me. They cost me a damn
uh,
$25 Apollo pizza gift card and everything. But I had Duke, Arizona,
hell's
Illinois, Michigan, and you had UConn, fuck UConn, Purdue, Houston, Iowa State. So you got one out of your four. I got three out of my four. So once again,
You know,
I
I
beat
will
you.
say we did this before Josh Jefferson blew his entire ankle into shreds. So
That's very, very true.
that's
And
we're likely not in the third straight Elite Eight if that I don't know. The way we guarded Momchilovich, I don't know that they would have beat us even with him. But
I don't think they would have beat us, but I think it would have been a closer game than it wound up
oh yeah,
being.
it would have been just like the Virginia game, I bet. It'd have been a sweat. We just sweated our butts off. So
Absolutely. So with the Final Four, I mean, UConn, Arizona, Illinois, Michigan. Who do you have coming out of this on each region? Who do you have as your national champions?
it's a shame that Michigan and Arizona aren't on opposite sides of the brackets because
Yeah,
I think that's basically it kind of feels like your national championship game in a way.
it does.
But I like Illinois and I like Arizona, so I'm gonna go Illinois Arizona for the national title.
I agree. That's what I had at the whenever I filled my bracket out. I just don't think UConn has the guys to go with Illinois. Solo ball has had a kind of a down tournament. It's not been
Yeah,
great. And Braylon Mullins, I swear to God, he is going to be one of my most hated players in college basketball history.
how can you hate him? He's just a good player, man.
You're right. You're right. I shouldn't hate him. I should be mad at Boozer, Caden Boozer, or John
Yeah,
Shire,
why they it
who,
just that was just such
yeah.
a
I mean, you can. There's a clip you can see Shire saying, advance the ball, dude. Just hold on to the ball.
yeah. You don't have to.
Why?
It's 10 seconds.
And I was just sitting there. I was just sitting there. I just smiled. You remember on the Breaking Bad scene with Walter White when he finds out Skyler's giving away all of his money and he's in the crawl
Yeah.
space just going absolute manic. That was me. I was just like, I sounded like Chris Collinsworth in there to be honest, except for I wasn't doing stuff to myself thinking about Patrick Mahomes. But with that being said,
That's two
um,
times this podcast, so I think we should end this.
I believe we should as well. Yeah, anything you want to add, Levi, before we get off here? You want to talk about?
Just hope we can get a decent portal class. That's about it. I'd like to
I
do a
agree.
podcast on our portal class whenever we start to get some commits or visits and
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean,
Maybe we can jump back on
yeah, definitely. It opens on April the 7th, I believe. So I believe
sixth.
the 6th, we should get
Yeah,
some news pretty soon, I would think, on Tyler Lundblade about as soon as it opens. It feels like that could possibly go pretty quick. I do want to add that I saw that Trilly Donovan said that he thinks that Tennessee, Duke, and Florida are going to be the three contenders. And with Tennessee getting the first visit this early with his coach going and him being a grad transfer, he was able to visit a lot earlier than other schools and other players. And Tennessee got his first visit for 3 days. That should be a huge advantage. So, with that being said, go Vols. And it kind of feels sad that I can't say let's go get them anymore, but I guess let's go get the transfer portal.
let's go
Get
get the transfer portal. Yeah, that works.
absolutely. All right. So go
Let's go
Vols,
get
and
them out the transfer portal.
that works. Let's go Vols, and we'll see you on the next episode. Hopefully, when we're talking about a commit, go Vols.
The Vols, man.
Why will this not stop recording?